to America.
What's going on, people? We back with another episode of Real Talk Podcast. I'm Terrell. Got my boys here. We about to do a movie review on Coming to America, directed by Craig Brewer. I'm not a pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I butchered his last name.
Brewer. I think it's
Brewer.
Yeah.
Produced by Eddie Murphy, of course.
Sure.
So what do you guys think off top? Like, what's up? What's your thoughts on the film when you first watched it?
Off top, I want to say that it is interesting that it was directed and written by white writers and directors.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. And I actually looked into Craig Brewer. He's done a lot of black, what we would consider black films, like, you know, Black Snake Moan, Hustle and Flow, Dolomite Is My Name. So and then he switched it up, and I think he also produced Empire, and he directed Tarzan, the newer Tarzan also.
Seems like a big Terrence Howard fan.
So that's interesting to
on the slick.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We need to have that conversation about Hustle and Flow one day, but I mean, that's another time. Anyway.
But I thought the film was pretty dope. So I'm ready to go ahead and dive into it. What about you, Banks?
My overall, I walked away with a good feeling about it. I liked it. I was surprised.
A nice trip down nostalgia lane. That's one of the movies. This one was for the culture, and so I appreciated it. I have no regrets watching it. So,
Terrell, what up? What you thought?
Yeah, I felt like almost every scene there was like another reason to say what the fuck in a good way. It was like just seeing, you know, the cast and all that, and just the way the jokes was hitting in a lot of the scenes. Just it came together. So I thought it was a dope little movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think first thing, since you talked about the cast real quick, I think we should definitely have a conversation about the cast, because a lot of it's I don't know, but just from the past films that we saw, it is probably safe to say that it is kind of difficult to bring back the original actors when you do a sequel, especially after 30 years. You know, life happened, people pass away, people build their careers, and maybe this role is not, on their level anymore, so maybe they don't want to do it, whatever the case may be. But the fact that they was able to bring back just about every actor possible, all the way down to when they was going on their dates in the original, they even had the twins come back and do something in the film. Yeah, so I thought that was dope that they was able to do that on top of the cast that they added on, like Salt and Pepper, Wesley Snipes, In Vogue, So what are y'all thoughts on that?
I'm mad we didn't get Eric LaSalle back for a Soul Glow. I mean, I'd say they said they did have something planned where they were gonna have him doing like Soul Grow. So, he 30 years later, he's trying to regrow the hair. So he's trying like that kind of thing, but it didn't make the movie. And I think there was scheduling conflicts with him, and Samuel L. Jackson wasn't able to do it. That would have been nice. Another cameo, him trying to rob up McDowell's again. That would have been having funny. There was a couple misses there, but other than that, yeah, I love the casting choices. I mean, I don't want to step on anybody. I know you guys are about to get your word. I just wanted to double check what y'all think on Jermaine Fowler, the son for King Hakeem. I thought that was an interesting choice. I don't know, for different reasons.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Okay. I feel like that deserves its own little time. The cast for me was dope. Outside of missing, I actually meant to look in what happened to the mother.
I think she passed away.
She passed.
Queen.
Passed.
That's why I was wondering.
But
I forgot to check it out.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. But you see, they even give the nod to James Earl Jones in there, even though he was in there for a brief moment. And the new additions were crazy. I mean, from Michael Blackson to Gladys Knight. So it was I definitely felt the casting. I was with it.
What about you, Terrell?
Yeah, I was just surprised just because I didn't actually watch the trailer or do any research on this film. I just heard it was being made. And then I just heard it came out. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna watch it. So even Wesley Snipes surprised the hell out of me when I saw him. And then I saw Michael Blackson screaming and shit. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And then Morgan Freeman, Rick Ross, Matumbo. I'm like, what? Like,
And then they had
forgot about that.
what is his name? Rodamy? How you say his name?
Rotimi?
Rotimi. Yo,
Rotimi,
Rotimi was
yeah.
in there.
Homie from damn, Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, that.
Like it was a
crazy.
bunch of random moments.
Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan.
Mhm.
I think. What do you think the best cameo was, though? I mean, I know what I think, but
Best cameo, like just
because there was a lot of cameos there.
I don't know, son. I think the Morgan Freeman surprised me the most.
That's gotta be the one.
That was the one that
surprised me the most.
Like, what?
Yo,
I don't consider Wesley a cameo. He was an actual character in there. But Morgan Freeman trying to shed a tear while he was at the field. Like, come on, he was doing.
What's crazy about Morgan Freeman is he's really open with doing stuff like that more than I thought initially.
The 21 Savage album.
Yeah, like he does that often. Like he's on that
often.
often.
Murdered that.
So that's big ups to him that he doesn't kind of like cut himself off from like newer generation type stuff. Like he's willing to work and do that. So that's dope. That's dope about Morgan Freeman.
He knows he's an icon, and people, it's out of respect.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody come at him sideways like that. But
right.
Morgan Freeman for me, that was
another thing that I liked was that they all continued the character. Like after 30 years, it didn't seem like there was a real drop off with their performance of each character. Right. So like Arsenio Hall as Simi still was the same character. Like there wasn't a different, like it wasn't like, oh, I'm looking at an older Arsenio Hall, so it's an older character, right? It looked the same. And I think maybe it was because they had those flashbacks that kind of reminded me of the first film. So maybe it helped me kind of piece it together. But even with Eddie Murphy, because life happens. So, you get new teeth or you get, lipos, you get these different things that happen to make you look younger. But in these particular, actors, you could see that that black didn't crack and they was just, they was coming to themselves that stage. So that was dope. I thought that was dope.
Shari Headley looked great. She looked amazing for her age. And it's crazy.
They all look pretty good for their age. Even Earl Jones looked good for his age. You know what I'm saying? Like Morgan Freeman look, everybody they don't look their age.
I mean, Morgan Freeman been old his whole life, bro.
Or he's been an old nigga in every movie.
Yeah,
every movie, bro.
He was probably a child actor too. Just started off old, just born old.
Like and another thing too is Kiki Layne. She's coming up in a way.
That was the
oldest daughter.
The daughter.
The oldest daughter.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. The oldest daughter. She was in.
Y'all know the middle daughter was Eddie Murphy's
actual
real daughter.
Yeah.
With Scary Spice.
Yeah.
Get him in there. Get them checks.
He said they're not allowed to work until they're 18, but she was like, she's 17, so she had to like beg her dad to do the movie, and he let her do it.
I feel it.
So
that's dope. That's dope.
I mean, put on in a big way. You couldn't let her miss out on that over a year or two, like just a year. You couldn't let her miss that.
Yeah, you gotta let her get on that.
That's probably her favorite one. If she's probably looking at his past movies, I would imagine
that might have been a part of the argument to get herself on it.
He's like, come on. Yeah. I wasn't mad at any of the daughters. They played their role well.
Oh, facts.
I want to see it. I don't know if any of them did their own stunts because it looked like the little girl. Like looked like she was really. Whipping that. I was like, wait, hold on. Is that really her?
They was killing it.
They were killing it. So the choice for the Prince, did y'all like him?
Jermaine Fowler.
I'll put it like this. I warmed up to him as the role went on, because when he first popped on screen and like he was doing the acting, I was like, It felt like he was kind of, but I felt like as the film went on, he just got more comfortable. And I feel like towards the end of the movie, if he would have had that same, I feel like confidence in his acting when he first started, I wouldn't have had no problem. But it did start out a little shaky for me on him.
I just
I think it was the head too.
Yeah, I hated his afro. I hated his afro.
Yeah, I hated it.
I hated the afro.
I literally said,
who gets afros with no fades now? Like, who does that now anyway?
No one.
Well, who don't get the tape? That makes no sense.
I think he had a wig. I think it was a
yeah,
wig.
It's definitely a wig. Yeah,
which is interesting.
And he already had the haircut under it.
Which is interesting when you think about it, because a lot of part of the movie is filmed with where? On Tyler Perry's.
He probably stepped on set and put him
I can't say that because Wesley Snipes' hair was way better. Everybody else's hair was way better. So that's hard to say. Maybe the day that they shot that particular scene, they had somebody else other than the original person or something. I don't know. But everybody else here in the film was straight. Like I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's not Tyler Perry. But that wig that he had on, I just hated it. I just didn't understand why they did that.
Now I'm not mad at Jermaine Fowler completely because I wanted to see you come up, like do your thing, but
he did
because I had you're gonna have high expectations that you're gonna have somebody trade lines with Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall. These are icons, and I thought I have some faith in him because even just that one scene, that takeaway from Sorry to Bother You, probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie when him and he's going back with Lakeith Stanfield. Like, no, you have a great day. Oh, I have a great day now. You they was going back and forth. That was probably one of the best scenes in that movie. So I'm like, oh, he has decent comedic timing. You're thinking
that weird ass shit.
Yeah, weird movie. Weird movie.
Yo, what threw me off in the movie was this man really went to a job interview wearing Tim's. And
yo, chill. That's not. Why did that throw you off?
It was because
you almost ended the job.
It looked like a corporate.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Are you serious?
I think
you're literally not putting
you arguing with a New York man.
I think
about Tim.
I think the only issue that I had with that is that they definitely tried to push that he's from New York just a little too much. Like it wasn't that serious to push that he's from New York, but wearing Tim's to an interview is an acceptable footwear.
So you've wore Tim's a couple interviews yourself.
I probably did. I probably did. As a kid, I probably did. Maybe not as a 30-year-old man. No, I probably won't.
Yeah, he's
but
30
as a teenager. But as a kid, I definitely
being 30 was a big one. I was like,
and then,
man, 30.
And if I'm still in New York right now, I don't know. It's snow outside. I might not want to get my real shits dirty. I might throw the Tim's on. I might rock some Tim's.
Construct.
I haven't worn Tim's in a while.
Constructs too.
I haven't worn Tim's in a while.
I bought a pair, still ain't worn.
But that's an acceptable footwear.
Yeah, I'm not bringing
not to a
job
either.
I'm bringing to the interview, but anyway. But no, I wasn't mad at that casting choice, Jermaine Fowler, and hopefully, if they do, because they're talking about like a third one, if they do go that route, hopefully, he brings it this time too. So.
I think a third one would be too much. I think they should be good at two. I think two would be good.
Well,
or maybe a spinoff that's into the daughter's story or something. But the third one's too much.
You gotta. All right, I didn't want to start that conversation yet, but if we're talking about a third movie, we gotta do a spinoff off Wesley Snipes' character. That's the one.
I'll accept that one. I'm cool with that one. I'm cool with that one. What I'm saying is there can't be a third Coming to America. And it's a similar story to what they gave us. I think this story has played its course through.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that strong. It wasn't a strong plot. It's built on entertainment and being funny. You know what I'm saying? But even this was kind of a stretch to do this aspect of it. So there was other things that they needed to have. Like they needed to have this entertainment, all of these characters and cast, just to keep people, engaged with what was going on. Because the story, you know what's gonna happen in the story. Like I knew that he was gonna fall in love with the barber as soon as they started talking. Like everything was bang, bang, bang. You know what I'm saying?
Time I seen the barber,
it was like
I was like, they giving too much attention.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, so
like they're giving up too much attention.
So to do another story similar to this would be, too much. We need to do now. I would accept a story of the daughter, the oldest daughter. I think that could be something they can explore, and then Wesley Snipes and their battle. Because they're opposing countries, fighting each other over whatever.
But at the end, they came together. So
at the end, they came together. So we know. I'm talking about like maybe a past, like go back into the past because they was there for 30 years of stories that hasn't been told. You know,
I want to see.
It's a lot of space. It's a lot of
there's a
space
lot of
for
room to
creativity.
explore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
a TV
introduced
series
a
or
lot
something.
of characters. Like you introduced, like, I didn't see a lot of lines for Rotimi's character, which I would have liked to see because he had good comedic timing. Tiana Taylor's character, Rotimi.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually happy
Tiana
they didn't
Taylor,
say anything.
Wesley Snipes. I think
Yeah,
you can center
I
around his whole family, and then you can put in the other people in spots. You know, you can put in, you know, the barbers or whatever. You know, whoever shows up from Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. I think there's room. I think there's a lot of room there for a spinoff, not necessarily a sequel, but a spinoff.
One spinoff. We're not doing some Marvel shit up here. We could do one spinoff. It's strong enough for one spinoff.
No, it's not. No, nobody.
Okay, I thought you were trying to say you could do all of this different shit.
No, that's all one movie. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
To me, Rotimi's character was more gimmicky. Like I don't even feel like he was like really. I feel like they could have gotten anybody.
There's something there.
His character was a joke. His character was a joke.
There's something there. But you have somebody who has a decent name, who has good comedic timing. I think you can do something with that.
Because I mean, he was funny.
Not a character on Rotimi's character, but some Wesley Snipes would be the main, and then you have.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is his character was a punchline. Like his character was solely there just to be a joke, like a punchline. Which is why I think
too much in one movie. You're not gonna get a lot of lines as far as
he ain't getting no lines. Did he even have a line? He just had facial expressions.
Yeah, he had lines. He had some very small stuff. Moving forward, what did y'all think about the pace of the movie? Because the pace of the movie is what really jumped out to me about. Like it was like everything was upbeat type. Like they got the story out fast. Like even him finding out he had with a kid, I was like, I felt like that conversation should have been longer than what it was. Like you telling me I got a whole child and you didn't tell me. And I felt like it was very straight to the point. Let's get there. But I feel like it worked for them. I'll say that before I leave it. So what did y'all think of the pace?
I think the only reason why, in my opinion, the pace felt like that is because we already knew the story. Like we already knew what was going to happen. Just based off what they can actually do with the story. Anyway, there's only a couple of routes that they could have went with the story. I thought the conversation that he had a son was cool because they got straight to the point. Like, yo, our spiritual leader said you got a son. Boom, boom, boom. The thing that I thought was a little bit rushed was his acceptance that he was that he was a prince. The son accepting that that's my father. Like there wasn't much pushback on that, but it worked for them because it's funny. Like it's a joke. Like it's funny. He saw the money. He was like, oh yeah, I'm the prince. You know.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I thought was pushed was just him accepting it. Other than that, I thought the flow of it was perfect. Like it worked beautifully for the entertainment aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, the characters, the randomness of all the characters in the cast, that kind of is consistent with how the fast pacing of the film and everything. Mm-hmm. Everything was working there, and I was also comparing it to the first one because I did watch the first one. Well, I always saw the first one, but I did watch it a week prior to this, so I had it fresh in my mind, and just comparing the pacing between the two. The first one is a lot, slower, smoother. The jokes aren't really, boom, boom, boom. But here it was more apparent, like they were really trying to like make this funny. So
kill you with funny.
Oh, and it absolutely.
Was. Kill you with funny. I felt
that could also be to your detriment too. But no, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, you good. I was just saying I felt like it was good. You good. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that could also be to your detriment too, because just like you were saying, Terrell, like if the the first you compare it to the pacing of the first one, where the jokes are, it's not always like a set up punchline. Some of the stuff is just more memorable in the first one because this is something where culturally that movie is still relevant today. I remember not too long ago, like a couple years ago, I seen somebody one town they did it for their prom or something, or whatever. Everybody did a Coming to America theme or whatever. Like people still, that movie is culturally relevant today. So to make something like that, you're not just going to be just 1-2 punchline. There has to be stuff that actually resonates and hits people on a deeper level. But as far as the pacing for this one, yeah, I wasn't mad at it. We got to the point. We got from Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3, and then the end of the movie. Like it was fine. Like it was one of those movies that you just, I was happy watching. It didn't feel slow at any point in the movie. So.
What'd you guys think of that part with James Earl Jones dying? He was like, "I'm going to die now," and this man literally just died. I was like,
I thought it was dope.
serious?
First of
I
all,
thought it was dope.
First of all,
I said it.
I
was like, he gonna die in the funeral.
Being
I
at
heard
your
it
own
dope.
funeral
I heard it
is
was dope.
Being at your own funeral
Alive.
alive is dope. Is dope.
I mean, you're always at your own
gotta be
funeral for the most part.
alive.
Now, being aware
Alive.
that
Yeah.
of your own funeral, being aware of your own funeral
Yeah.
does sound dope. Definitely when
Definitely
you have that idea that in a positive light of death. Like he didn't have death in a negative light, so he wasn't afraid of dying. He wanted to be celebrated for what he's done and stuff like that. So I thought that idea was dope. I thought it was funny and I thought it was dope. And to see him on that light too. Because he had more of a comedic outlook this film than he did the first one. So I thought that was dope.
Definitely. And then I thought to myself, like going into that scene, as soon as they show him in the casket, I said, watch him die in this scene. And as soon as I'll die now.
And he died mad peaceful. He died mad peaceful.
Peaceful as hell. Like who just closed their eyes? And then everybody just kept going on with what they was doing. Like everybody was cool with it.
Yeah.
So that might be top 10 movie deaths I might have seen. That's honestly like for you to call it out, for you to call your shot out like that and just be like, yeah, I'm done now. I'm cool.
It's like he coughed and said, "I'm about to die. Let's have my funeral today." And everybody was, all right, let's get it.
And everybody was ready. Everybody on deck. And Salt Pepper, Gladys Knight.
No tears, no nothing.
You getting serenaded by Gladys Knight while you're dying is crazy. So.
That's
how I want my funeral to be. I want
that's fine.
Lit.
All right, so I had a quick question that I wanted to explore before we got too further in. I'm an individual. I love sequels, reboots, remakes. It don't matter the time when they do it, whatever the case. I enjoy it definitely when they have older films that they're making in today's time because just technology, different minds, they can do things right in certain aspects. Like, for example, if you made a movie in the 80s, you wasn't seeing a lot of strong black leads or strong black women leads. But if they could remake a movie and put that strong black women lead, that might have made this movie so much better. I'm interested in seeing that and seeing how they do it. Right. So my question for y'all is, do y'all think this sequel was needed? Could we have done without it? And then I also wanted to touch on how people view sequels and remakes and reboots and stuff like that.
I used to really hate remakes. The reason why is because I was just kind of following the crowd in a way, because that's what everyone says. I hate remakes. If you just let it die type of attitude. But just kind of learning film and going to school for film, I started to be more open to remakes and all that stuff. So 30 years later, I mean, if they want to make a sequel and ramp it up like this with the new technology and all the different cast members from different areas of like the comedy genre, I think it's a cool thing to explore. So I'm all for a remake as long as it's justified. If it's just a remake, just because, and y'all just trying to make some money, I mean that's what you're doing at the end of the day anyway. But if there is a reason behind the remake, I think it's cool. I'm all for it.
What about you, Banks?
For me, I'm for remakes. I'm about remakes when it makes sense. Like, I hate when a studio is just like, we can try this story, and the story has no it doesn't make sense at all. You just we can tell you just really just slapped this story into this storyline, and you messed it all up. So that's when I have a problem with remakes. The remake My Time thing, it's like I feel like sometimes when it's a classic, like when it's like a true classic like the original Coming to America is, I don't necessarily feel it's needed, but I will say after watching the movie, I can definitely say I appreciated them bringing it, but running it back and doing that.
What about you, Gills?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to go off of the points that both of you guys made already, if it's something where it's studio driven, where it's just just to hit the bottom line, just to put the the ledger in black, then no, it has to have some type of soul, some type of relevance, especially when you're dealing with a classic like this, that you have to have, the actual essence of the first film. So this one, in a lot of ways, felt like a tribute to the first one. You're seeing all the references being brought up, and then you're seeing them show footage from the first one inside. So if somebody's just, let's say, there's people that just watch the sequel and don't know anything about the first, but people actually do that. So now they might go back and see how funny the first one was, which is fine. That shows that you're taking care of the original product. I just don't like when, everybody has an idea of the Hollywood exec that's just sitting there just trying to pay for their yacht and just put something together so that they can put butts in the theaters. And this, I don't think this one did that. So I normally don't have a problem with sequels, and this wasn't one of them.
See, like, I love the idea of reboots, sequels, remakes, whatever the case may be, because like I said, I just like seeing, even if it's like not new technology added, I just like seeing what this individual could do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gills might have made the film in the 90s, Banks made it in 2000s, Terrell made it in the 10s, and then now I'm making it now. And each one of those films are going to be different in its own right. And then it gives us a platform to discuss, like, yo, the first blah, blah, blah was better than the second because of this and that. And I enjoy those conversations. And we wouldn't be able to have some of those conversations if people didn't make remakes. I also think it's hard to say, like, only make a remake if there's a justified means to it, because sometimes you won't even know if it's justified until we do it.
You gotta listen to the people. You gotta listen to the people.
Yeah. I feel like that's a valid answer, but you can't when it comes, because what I'm saying, 2 weeks ago, Banks was saying maybe we shouldn't do remakes. Now he's seen this remake and like, maybe remakes is not too bad. You know what I'm saying? So people mind change. No. I just use that as an example.
Quote me right.
People mind change. There's different opinions from everybody. Nobody goes, when you're a filmmaker, you don't go in here and necessarily say, I'm gonna do this because this is what the people want. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know. This might be what the people want, but by the time your film hit the theaters or hit streaming services, they might be on to something else. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy it. I think it's dope. I think we need to do more of it. That's what I think.
I think Hollywood doesn't do it enough already. Like, would you want more? So, like,
no, I feel like what y'all mean by that is they do the same ones too many times, right? Like, we got so many Halloween, so many Jason, so many of this, so many of that. They don't do enough of the huge catalog that we have in American cinema. Right, like there's 20,000 films that we could probably sit here and think of that we would enjoy to see a sequel, but they just haven't done it. But which is what I think they do. I think they listen to the fans because the fans want to see Halloween. They want to see Michael Myers. They want to see Mission Impossible. They want to see Fast and the Furious over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But like we was talking about before, why haven't they made a sequel to Demolition Man?
Yo, keep it low. What is wrong with you?
I'm just saying though, like there's so many films that like, we could talk about. Like, why haven't they did a sequel for? So that's what I think. That's what I think they do is they listen to the fans, to the people a little bit too much, and that's why we get the same. That's why we got 20 fucking Leprechauns.
I don't think nobody asked for no more.
I think it's on a. You're alone.
That was a silent jab. That was a silent jab.
I'm at yo, and it didn't land. And it didn't land.
It landed.
I had my guard up. You know what I mean?
That shit definitely landed.
No, it was
when Mission Impossible 12 come out, son, guess who's going to be in theaters?
Yeah, you're gonna be the only one.
Hey, more room for me.
But on that note, I am happy that they're doing another Top Gun. Is it Top Gun? Yeah, I think it's Top Gun they're doing. So I am happy that they're doing that.
Listen, it's on a case-to-case basis. I don't want to see another. There's certain movies that you can't do. There's certain genres not genre. There's certain movies that you don't want to see another movie. Like Breakfast Club. I don't want to see another Breakfast Club. Maybe there's no John Hughes fans in here.
I do.
I'm a big John Hughes fan. I don't want to see it. You just want to see every movie remake.
I want
ever,
to see.
and
I
never
want to
nothing
see
ever
another
gets
Three
made.
Ninjas. I want to see another
Cool.
Three Ninjas. They need
Yo,
to remake Three
Whatever, okay,
Ninjas.
fine. Yeah, you can do that. That's
facts.
fine.
Like, I want to.
Okay.
There's so many films from my
That's fine.
childhood
That's
that they
fine.
need to remake that I want to see.
Yo, we don't want to just
Last
see your
Action
childhood
Hero?
on the screen. So
I don't
like,
care.
you gotta let.
I want to
other stuff
take my
breathe,
son.
man.
I want to take my son to go see a movie that I grew up and enjoyed, but he could relate to it more so
Right.
now also. Because some of those movies don't travel through time. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them just don't do that. They need a remake for, the younger generation to catch on to
just
it.
take the feeling or take the message from that movie. You make your own movies, and everything doesn't have to be a remake.
Now you
yes,
bite.
I think it's
Then
kinda
we're gonna be
cases
sitting
where-
here complaining like, they bit off
They
this
bite.
or they bit
They
off
bit.
that or if they bit
Facts.
off that.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
nah,
that's
just
not what I'm
remake
saying.
it, bro.
That's not
Just
what I'm
remake
saying.
it.
That's not what I'm saying. I
I'm
said the
saying that's
feeling,
what people
the
will complain
essence.
about. We see that all the time.
No,
we see that all the time,
No,
bro.
because there's been 1,000 different romantic comedies. They're not all well, to an extent.
I was about to say,
but you can't sit there and pinpoint, where Can't Hardly Wait is biting from, or where 50 First Dates is biting from. It's all coming from a different place. The same feeling, but it's a completely different movie. You can do that, and they're all classics.
You just
You
have
can
to
do- there's
agree to
room for that.
disagree. They're all not classics though.
I'm talking about the ones that are classics.
Just remake them shits, bro. Fuck it.
No,
remake it.
No.
Goddamn.
I mean,
Nathan,
I
go remake it.
I partially agree with Martin. I partially agree with him on the fact. I feel like some movies, like, I don't want to see that again. But I guess we wouldn't be talking about classics then, because I feel like you're gonna always want to see a classic. I just would ask, if you're gonna do it, give it its just due and do it, and put your best foot forward, and really apply the pressure that needs to be applied to make a classic again.
They ain't even no Saturday Detention. How you gonna make another Breakfast Club?
Yo, they make movies with Saturday Detention, and I just watch. Come on,
the new Power Rangers movie had a Saturday.
Come on, man. Come on, stop, man.
You're going back to see the new Power Rangers movie, aren't you? Yeah,
I have a 6-year-old son.
I would go see it.
I'm saying you was feeling the Power Rangers movie like that.
It was all right.
It was exactly.
It was all right. See, that's the thing. I just feel like people go into watching films expecting too much. Like, maybe that's why I enjoy it a little bit more.
That too.
I'm not going in to see the new Power Ranger film. After I saw the trailer of it, not anything similar, they took a different approach with it. Why am I going to go into that film expecting the 90s Power Rangers that I grew up on? And I think that's what people do. People see or hear Power Rangers, they put this idea in their head that it's going to be this, and then they go in and see it, and it's not exactly what they thought or what they wanted. They just throw it out the window. Oh, it's trash. And that's insane to me that they do that. It makes no sense.
Because if you go on IMDb and read Coming to America, you would have knew off the rip, okay, this isn't going to be like the same story. Okay, what did he go to America for in the first place? He went to go find love. That's what he went for. We talking about, if you read the description, even when you buy the movie, if you read the description right there, it automatically lets you know it has nothing to do with it has something to do with what took place in the first story, but we're not going to be doing the same thing. And it's still like, if you go into it, like, I'm not always for remakes, but I'm not going into a remake expecting the same thing. You have to be more realistic with yourself.
That's the average movie watcher anyway. They like, oh, why is this different? Oh, why is this character black? Isn't he white? Wasn't he white in the old movie? Or it's just little petty stuff. And I think
it's not 30 years later.
You gotta be more open.
You're right.
You're right.
Like Django.
You're right on that.
Like Django. Django is a remake. And the first Django was a white guy. He was white.
But that's a whole nother topic that we could probably go on.
No, hold on. Before you try to switch to another topic, I gotta say, Arsenio, like, just to get this point across, Arsenio making a purchase during the production of this movie, whatever, and he's sitting there, he's making his purchase. The cashier is telling him, like, hey, see, I'm making Coming to America again. Don't F this up now. Like, the cashier is literally telling them this. People don't want dollars put on their nostalgia, the stuff that puts them at a certain time and period, back in their life. So,
and that's
it's not just me. It's just a lot of people that just really go like I hold this special. I hold this in high regard. You can do this. Just, I don't trust you. Like, there's some people, we don't trust Hollywood enough just to actually do it correctly. So
and that's the problem.
We would like to see it done, but a lot of times Hollywood doesn't do it correctly. So
that's the problem, though.
That's the problem with Hollywood. So
Yes, that's the problem.
It has nothing to do with
and it's also insane how you not trust. It's not like Eddie Murphy and Arsenio are not a part of this project. Like they did the first project and they're doing the second project. How don't you have some sort of trust or faith that they could do a good job?
Homeboy didn't say that. He said, "Don't F this up." He said, "Don't."
Yes, I understand that, but why? Why would you say that? Why would you say that to somebody?
Because it is Hollywood.
You don't go into your doctor's office who done did your last couple of surgeries or your dentist who done did your last couple of tooth and be like, "Yo, don't fuck this up." Like, come on, son. You don't do that. You don't do that with your doctors, bro.
I might. If you F up the first surgery, I might not come back.
They didn't, but they didn't. You're not proving. You're not proving my point, bro.
Maybe you need to go to the anesthesiologist and say, "Hey, don't F this up." And then make sure, like,
you don't though. But you don't though. You might need to, but you don't.
Botched is a real show. Botched is a real show on TV.
Yes. It happens. But people don't do that. You don't go to your dentist and when he's looking in your mouth, say, "Yo, don't fuck this up."
That's a recipe for fucking your teeth up.
You don't do that.
I don't know how that's the same, but
it's the same. It's the same because this is their craft. Like this is what they do for a living. Like this is what they've been doing for years. Is making films, making people laugh. How you gonna say? Come on, son. That's not hiding. That's not hiding. It's sad. It's sad in this country that we hold entertainers higher than fucking doctors and lawyers and shit.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 52%. Okay,
it's good for Rotten Tomatoes.
We don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes.
The only ranking system that matters here is Garbage Juice, People's Choice, Certified. You know the
exactly. Y'all know the list. Only shit.
I mean, realistically, that ain't bad for Rotten Tomatoes though.
Yeah, they always giving like 20% type shit.
I always say like 45 to like 85 is usually that area where that's like to the people to decide. Like that's like if we gotta watch it and decide if it's good or not. If it's below that, like 45, 50, then more than likely it's probably wasn't that good of a movie. If it's above that, like 80, 85, then usually it's a pretty good movie. But that middle, like 70s. That little section in the middle is usually like that's like to us, like your own self should watch it and decide if it was good or not. Mm-hmm. So for this movie, he didn't have the best plot. It was just straight comedy. You know what I'm saying? I think 52 is probably fine. It's pretty good for Rotten Tomatoes for it. Yeah. And the critics had good reviews on it when I was reviewing that too. The critics had pretty good reviews about the film too.
I mean, I just really fucked with the fact that after 30 years, everybody that was in the original movie was like X said earlier, like they still were in character. Like it didn't seem like you was trying to go blow the dust off this character and get yourself right. Like Semi fucked up and didn't tell this man, you got a whole son out here. Like that was some Semi shit. Like that screen. Like I wasn't surprised at all that he was the one that knew the whole time.
Yeah.
With the king.
We
can't talk about that because that was
what
I don't know if that's
all right. So I thought so to talk about that, let's just answer this question because I had that question that's going to tie right into it. So what do y'all feel about how do y'all think they tied the story together, like how they tied both films together? Because I thought they did it in a dope way. How they tied the films together. It was predictable and it was so predictable that it was understandable that was the way they had to go to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, when you read the plot before sidebar, I also had the idea of another Coming to America a long time ago, but I felt like it wasn't time in my own head. It wasn't nothing like this, but so when you read the plot and then you look at the story and how they tied it together, it's just like, okay, like I can see that. I didn't like how people got online and bashed Leslie Jones, like as if she wasn't a good choice to play the mother of his children. Like, you got people calling her ugly or whatever the case may be. Like, she killed that fucking role. Like, and I really appreciated in the movie how they had her decked out. Like, she wasn't just in like her regular clothes. They decked the son out. They decked out, and then she had her own thing going back with the beautiful Miss Headley. So I really appreciated that fact. But if you look at it, it was like you knew it was gonna be from the people they had in it. It was gonna be predominantly comedy. I feel like maybe they could have dove a little deeper with the story, but other than that, like I feel like it was a solid film. Like they did good.
Yeah, when I first started watching it, I was curious how they were gonna bring it back to Queens. 'Cause I was like, okay, he's king now. You know, he has things going on here. What is it exactly that's gonna bring him back to Queens? And then when he came in and told him that he had a son, I'm like, boom, there it is. And he goes back to Queens, and you still got the barber shop and all that. So just the way that everything was tied together, I don't see any problems with it. Uh, and then I like how they brought back McDowell's, how they're trolling the hell out of McDonald's with everything. That shit is hilarious.
30 years later, still.
Yo. And I think that's difficult. That got to be difficult to do, to have a joke travel and last that long and still hit home with some of the things that they're doing. So because that's a 30-year-old joke.
I mean, the joke is our age, bro.
Yeah, so that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was dope. That was a dope aspect that they kept in the film.
I think I mean, yes, I agree with what you guys are saying. And to their credit, Kenya Barris, David Sheffield, Barry Blaustein, these guys. First of all, like David Sheffield and Barry Blaustein, those guys, they've worked with Eddie before. Things like Boomerang, things like Nutty Professor. These guys, they're good writers. They're great writers. And Kenya Harris, you've seen him on Netflix. His work speaks for himself. But using rape as a plot device, I don't know if it always hits the same for people. Yeah, I get it that I guess male rape is still on the table for being funny and stuff like that. I just thought maybe for the time period that we're in right now, probably not the best thing to do.
Why did you get that?
Huh? I'm speaking from my opinion. I just think in the time period that we're in, people are always looking for a reason just to, and so far, hadn't had any big issues that I've heard about, but people are always looking for a reason just to be upset or just to complain about something or just to rightfully so say something. But I don't think we should make light of rape, whether it's for a male or female, just to be honest with you. But I'm not tripping off of it. So
how did you pull that out of it?
Rape.
Are you talking about? How he
was conceived? He was drugged up.
Yeah, he was raped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is, because I didn't. I mean, obviously, when you talk about it and you can bring it up, then now you see it on the surface that it could be rape. But what I'm saying is, why did you pull that aspect out of what it is, of what that is? Because when I watched it, I didn't see it as he's getting raped.
That's what the whole plot is based off of, really. If you think about it, if that act did not happen on that night, he's not born. We're not having this movie. I think there's a different way they could have went about it. I don't know what that way is. I'm not as talented a writer as those guys are so far. So
I don't think
they kind of went over my head. I'm not gonna lie, it went over my head because it was done in such a comedic way. She was like, what the fuck she say about?
Now they was getting high together. She was like, get high, and then she forced herself on him. When you say it's rape, then you could pull the elements out of it and be like, okay, yeah, that is rape. But what I'm saying is, why did you pull that out of it?
When I saw it, that's the first thing I saw when I watched the movie. I don't know. That's just the way I saw it. As far as him he wasn't somebody that, I mean, to his credit, he might have drank a little bit when he was out there with his queens in the first time, but I don't think he was really a smoker.
I don't think he drank. Did he?
Or he didn't even drink. Whatever.
Because that's the thing. That was the thing about it. Because he don't do drugs and he don't drink, and she blew the smoke and he got high. But they was there. They was there to have sex though.
He was not. He was not trying to get it on with
Simi was
like playing Simi's wingman.
So he was being Semi's wingman or whatever, and then he got caught up in a situation. So it was a Semi situation, whatever. No pun intended. But I think I think that happening and using that as a plot device, it's not just happening in this movie, is why I bring it up, is because you do see the male rape thing happening in other movies as something to push the plot forward, or just to make it funny or whatever. I just
okay,
think
I see where our disconnect is. Well, I don't think that's a plot device. I don't think that was a plot device.
Okay. How
So
did
maybe that's why. Now they could have they made it funny by doing it that way. They make it funny. Like he could have just been okay with it and actually did it, right? So they did that to make it funny to where she was a little bit more aggressive. And I think maybe I didn't see that way because her character reminded me of old girl from Mo Money.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Marlon fell? Her character reminds me. Yeah, her character reminded me of her. So maybe that's why I didn't see it as that. But I don't think that was I don't think that was the plot device. It was, like an added to it. For me, the plot was just finding his son to so they won't go to war, right? Like, so
what led up to that? How does he not know he has a son? Because he didn't know that he had sex with this lady back then. That's what I mean by plot device. I don't mean like they just, you know what I'm saying?
I understand what both of y'all are saying for real. Being the person making the movies, you're gonna have to see shit like that because later on down the line, your movie came out. Now you under fire because you promote. I mean, Pepe Le Pew just got fucking canceled.
Pepe Le Pew was
but
wild.
Mr. Herbert from Family Guy is perfectly fine.
But I think when it comes to certain comedies, to certain comedies, some of those things are
They canceled Pepe Le Pew.
But I mean, that was in a racist culture also. Like that was like deep in that nonsense.
No, they say he promotes rape culture.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, it was also in a time they probably not doing nothing with him anyway. That was probably one of those.
The new Space Jam come out.
Yeah,
Space Jam would have been the only thing.
Y'all probably not gonna like the new Space Jam because it wasn't the old Space Jam. Y'all was already complaining about how Lola looked. Y'all say that all the time.
Nah, I got different.
Y'all the main motherfuckers that don't like remakes. Why they making another Space Jam? The last one was a classic. Fucking Michael Jordan acting. What the fuck is a classic of that?
Not the case. It's just Lola Bunny. I don't like what they did to Lola Bunny.
Look, here you go.
Have you seen what they did to Lola Bunny? Come on, son. They do.
Why?
It's a cartoon.
Nah. We're not gonna go off. We're not gonna do. I don't know about if anybody noticed how much product placement was in the movie. Like it was like overtly in your face. Like when General Izzy is talking about taking a drink, he's gonna drink a Pepsi, or he's gotta hold on. Let me play my Spotify playlist when he's in there in the thing, or I gotta get a lift, or she's rocking a Puma shirt. Like, do you guys have any problem with product placement in movies?
Make your money.
Nah.
Or make your money.
No, it's cool.
Not at all. Yeah,
especially as organic as it was. Even though like I don't pick up a drink and be like, "Hey, let me drink this Pepsi." It was still like, it was kind of like a inside joke that we were already in on. Like, we're gonna blatantly promote everything because we got to make our money. That's the feel I got from it. So I ain't have no problem with it. Make your dollar.
I like how they implemented cat food, the Friskies. That was dope. That was smart. Friskies. How they put it on a little cage so that he could get the whiskers from the line. That was dope.
Make your money, Friskies. I'm not mad at them.
Made sure they turned the label where he opened it at.
Yo, they was going off with the product placement, but again, I don't really care about stuff like that, so I don't know. Xavier,
I like it. I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is when they like change the film or add stuff into it just to do it. Like they probably, flip that scene around about him getting the whiskers or added it just so they can do that, product or whatever. That's the only thing that I personally don't like about it. Now, if it's just like they did that commercial about McDowell's, well, now that I'm thinking about it, might have been just for that product placement because that's really the only thing they kind of talk about it. I think they talk about it twice. The beginning of the film, and then when him and his father-in-law have that conversation about him going to get his son back and making things right, he kind of talked about the McFlurries or whatever. But even that's promotion for McDonald's in a way. So
I think it's kind of hard doing a product placement while trying to move the story forward too. Like how to just kind of slip that in there without making it its own scene. Sometimes you can't help but to make it its own scene, but I could always appreciate a director just finding a way to kind of just make it work with the story. So that's all I got.
Facts.
Do you guys think this is where, like right now we're witnessing, we've seen Dolomite Is My Name. We've seen, Coming to America. We've heard different projects being promoted. You think we're seeing the resurgence of Eddie Murphy in
Could be.
in a way, shape, or form?
Because
Because I don't
felt
think
like-
I think it's more the resurgence of Wesley. That's what I'm seeing.
I'm thinking both because I mean, like we said the other day, we were talking about how he said I got to get back out there. I gotta get more work. I gotta start working more. So I'm thinking like maybe that's what he's on to. I mean, my man's got a lot of kids. He got mouths to feed, so he might want to lower their age limit, to about 10, so they can start putting food in their own mouth. But I mean, I feel like it could be. Dolomite is my name was solid. So I mean, if it is, I'm for it. I don't see why not. Y'all still out here letting Liam Neeson get his kids kidnapped. So
the 100th time.
He's like the worst father in cinematic history.
With 12 different 32 cuts to jump over a gate. It was something crazy. Y'all never seen that?
Old ass. Nah, I ain't never seen it.
I ain't the biggest Liam Neeson fan.
Like when they was it was Taken 2, and he was running, and then he had to jump a gate, and the editor chopped it up like 32 different times just to show him, like it was like 12 different times just to show him jumping over the gate. It was something wild. I don't know, look it up. Anyway. But yeah, you're right. He's the worst father in cinematic history.
Yeah, I think I would like to see definitely Wesley Snipes. More of his work. I just kind of thought of this right now. And this is just like kind of random, but it's on the topic of Eddie Murphy. A sequel for Norbit. How would you feel about that? And you think that's necessary? No.
No.
I just threw it out there.
I barely like that. Nah.
All right. Never mind. Forget that. I just threw it out there just to see how y'all would react. All right, cool.
So see, that's in your top 10 Eddie movies or something.
I'll be honest. I watch Norbit a lot. I watch.
I gotta rewatch Norbit now.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I had several.
I've only seen it once.
Several DVD copies. Like I watched it so much that I had to buy a new DVD because the one kept being scratched. So I was just curious.
My man was fiending out here.
I didn't know Norbit was your go-to. That's his number one film. Right?
I mean, it was an Eddie Murphy movie, but I don't think we need to see another one. Maybe we need some more time, and they could do something different with it.
Maybe.
But, yeah.
So in the we're in the land of the realm of remakes on this episode. So if y'all had one movie, just one singular film that you could do a remake, what is it? Why? And who would you cast?
Damn.
Gills. I want you to go first. I want you to go first.
I ain't never scared. Let me let you know right now. I ain't never scared. One, since you didn't give me enough time to think of one, I'm gonna just go with the first movie I thought of. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Bloodsport. Why not? Because why not?
With who? With Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No, I'm not doing it with Jean-Claude Van Damme. He could be a coach. He could be in there. I have him in there in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna pay homage. Might even throw Forrest Whitaker in there. Who cares? He was in there. He was in the first one. That was like his first movie. But
I know, but I was just saying, why would you?
Yeah, because why not? Because he might want to be in this. But and I'm giving y'all a lot of time to think of y'all looking and searching them up. Y'all go ahead, y'all do your thing. But I might make here's what I do. I'm making Michael Jai White the bad guy. So he's gonna play Bolo. He's gonna be that guy. The main hero, the guy who's gonna, do the Kumite stuff. Michael B. Jordan is being overused, so I'm not doing that. I want to probably get a new.
So
nah, enough, because we can't just run. Come on, we can't just run to Michael B. Jordan for
Samuel L. Jackson has over 200 credits, my boy.
right. But
we can do whatever we want.
I know, and all respect due to Michael B. Jordan. Obviously, I'm just saying, like his scheduling is probably crazy. Like, what are the odds you're even going to get him to do a movie like this? So, I'm probably going to go to a new fresh face to do that movie. I want to get somebody that has fighting experience behind them. But just like we were saying with the action movies, a previous episode, where we were picking, who people we would like to see in more action movies. I might do a homeboy from
First Purge.
Insecure, the first Purge.
Boy, you long-winded.
God, I was just thinking in my head, like, hurry the fuck up.
Okay.
Everything you say, he got a little side story real quick.
There we go.
Word. You did though, son. You had like a side story for everything you said. All right, Terrell, what you got? What you got?
I'm not saying nothing for the rest of the podcast.
The first one I was thinking of was Gemini Man, but I would keep Will Smith though. I would keep Will Smith, but I would remake Gemini Man. Different director, definitely. I don't like the way Angeli directed that film. I like the concept. I like the idea of it. I just wasn't too hip to the way that the action was in the film. I guess I'm like biased because I always look at this as like the yardstick for how I like action. So yeah, that's kind of just off the top of my head, Gemini Man.
Okay, what you got, X?
I got a lot of them because I do this all the time. So first movie that came to my mind when I thought about it is I would want to do a black version of The Lost Boys. I feel like we don't have enough black vampire films. And then the second one I would want to do over is The People Under the Stairs. Those are probably the top two that I would want to do a remake on. But definitely The Lost Boys. I feel like that's definitely a classic that needs to be done. But I would just, black it out. Black characters, black family. I would keep the story similar, but I would just associate it more with the black community. So maybe we won't be, like California on a beach type feel to it, but it would be similar.
Okay. I can see that. Me, the one film I wanted to do a remake of since I first seen it. I was like, I wanted a sequel of when I was younger because it came out when I was younger. The one with Jet Li. Like, I always liked the idea of like you time hopping, killing your doppelgangers and gaining their energy, and you just you going off like that. So I would definitely cast a black lead. Me personally, I mean, I don't mind overworking Hollywood stars, but I personally feel like Michael B could kill it. Like, I definitely feel like he would kill a role like that because it's, I mean, let all due justice to Jet Li because I believe he did his thing in it, but I definitely would want to redo a film like that. It's one of those action movies that came out of nowhere. That plot came out of nowhere at that time, and I feel like what we can do now in film would really do justice to what they were trying to do, what they were doing then. So I definitely say the one, Michael B. Jordan starring. All right, people, y'all know how the ranking system goes. So without further ado, my man's Martin. We'll get y'all where y'all need to go. What you got, son? What you got? What did you think of the film? What's your rating for the film?
Love the film. Before I rank it, shout out to Fatima Robinson for doing the choreography on this one. If you don't know her work, you can look it up. All you need to know, her list is extensive, but she did Remember the Time with Michael Jackson. She choreographed that when she was, I don't know, like in her 20s. So, but yeah, ranking. What are the rankings again? Oh, yeah, okay. I gave it a good watch.
Terrell, what you got?
Definitely enjoyed it while I was watching. I did watch it twice. I like the cast. I like the way the first and the second one kind of joined together. I like the pacing, even though it was a little different from the first one. I appreciated the pacing. I honestly wouldn't mind watching it again. So I give it a good watch. Only because I wasn't on the floor laughing the whole time, but I did appreciate the effort that they put into this one. So
Like on the higher end of the good watch, right? Like that's what I would say.
Roughly, yes.
Roughly.
What you got, X?
I enjoyed the film. I thought it was dope. I thought it was time. I liked the direction they went with it. I loved the casting. They came strong with that. You could tell that they spent good money on it to give us a decent product. So I'm gonna give it a people's choice.
And for myself, I found myself in agreement with all y'all. Like y'all said, I felt like I spoke about the pace earlier. I felt the pace was kind of caught me off guard, but they did it well. They tied everything in together well. It had its hiccups here and there, but I feel like overall, to bring back a classic and all the representation that we had, and now I really don't think in this episode we really like said too much, like enough about the representation that we had from top to bottom. For me, it's the people's choice. I got it. All right, good people. That's our episode. That is our rating. Please go watch Coming to America and tell us what you think. And that's all we got.